Zimbabwe Electricity Transmission and Distribution Company, Zetdc, is a subsidiary of Zetdc Holdings.
Our mandate as Zetdc is to source bulk or wholesale power from local and regional power stations. We then transport that power to bulk supply stations dotted across the country. From there, we distribute the power to the final end user customers. In addition, we bill and collect revenue from those customers.
We are now in the 21st century. Everything is now electronic. Without electricity, we can't operate.
We are affected greatly, actually, by the non-availability of power due to the thefts of transformer oil, transformers themselves, and cables.
Vanoita mabusiness ezvigayo takazokanganiswa nenyaya yekubiwa kwetransformer yamuri kuona iri apa iyi.
Amagetsi tisisebenzisa wona lapha emapulazini.
The most valuable inheritance and the richest legacy can be reduced to ruins through vandalism and theft.
Loss of electricity is really devastating. The whole thing disrupts everything. Because when you go electricity, you don't have the cooking part, can also not gas. It's just awkward.
Sasizile ukhamanzi ukutheza inkuni ngapha labantwana emhlanje ngapha abantwana babevukela lesikolo ezivele kunzima.
A wave of vandalism and theft of electricity transmission equipment and accessories has escalated throughout the country, affecting virtually every aspect of life as we know it.
That in terms of theft and vandalism, the organization has lost about 4,033,000. Then in the current year to date, it has lost about 1.7 million.
Infrastructure has started looking derelict despite regular efforts to upgrade and improve the system over time.
We are losing over $1 million per month in revenue because we can't bill some of the customers. Currently, we've got over 25,000 customers across the country who are without supply because of the theft and vandalism. Some for periods exceeding 4 years. Schools are going without power for computers. Health institutions have been compromised, and there have been accidents, even involving lives, where lives have been lost. And in addition, our customers are being inconvenienced to a very large extent. So then it has impacted us negatively, and we cannot carry on. Something really has to be done. We need to put our heads together and come up with a solution.
Rail links and good quality roads to all major cities, in addition to 3 international airports, make Zimbabwe infrastructurally sound, as does adequate provision of both hydro and thermal electrical power. At least that was where we used to be headed. Vandalism and destruction of important national assets has set us back more seriously than most people realize. Vandals have even managed to put the national railways of Zimbabwe's electric train out of commission. If that does not spell headed for disaster to Zimbabweans, then one wonders what will break this bad spell.
Whenever cables are stolen, we go for days with no power. That means there's no production whatsoever. But mind you, every mouth has to open every day. But with no production, but still you have to feed the people, you still have to make sure all your day-to-day runnings are always carried out.
The future lies in maintenance, repair and rehabilitation, and not in destruction of what improves life for all.
People are doing all these malpractices for the love of money. They want quick money.
Vandalism of electrical systems that are put in place really reflects so badly to our people. It really affects the livelihood of our people, because at the end of the day, whenever there is any vandalism that has taken place in any way, people's lives are negatively affected to an extent that really life becomes so difficult.
Zimbabwe's principal economic sectors, which include mining, agriculture, and manufacturing, all of which run on electricity, are suffering the effects of wanton vandalism. The negative effects of life in general of the vandalism of facilities that serve the public cannot be overstated. It may seem like small random careless acts, but they have far-reaching effects and consequences for one's own needs and those of the local community.
ichitorwa transformer ine saka tiri kuti dai hurumende yaedzawo kuona zvaingaite kuti magetsi tirambe tiinawo, nekuti zvinezvi diesel riri kudhura, magetsi ndo atanishandisa anga ari nani akachipa, saka tapa loss kana mhuri yedu kurarama kwayo hachararame zvakanaka.
Like this year alone, we've lost more than 40 days of working. So I think we need to be worried about these guys going up and down and what they're doing wherever they are doing.
Abantwana abasafundi ngoba bengisebenza esitolo lapha batshontsha amagetsi, batshontsha konke lempahla, kumbe ngamasela wamagetsi kumbe ngamasela ayevele ejonga uzotshontsha esitolo angikwazi.
Largely due to challenges arising from the theft and vandalism of vital components affecting electricity supply, the public image of ZESA and Zetdc has taken a battering. Consumers invariably point out the flaws in the electricity supply and distribution chain, but very few understand the challenges facing the electricity supply industry.
Our mandate is seriously under threat. The transmission and distribution networks that are being vandalized on a daily basis are the very networks that we use to deliver power to the customers. Currently, we have lost over 1,700 transformers and several kilometers of conductor. So we are, as a result, we are not able to deliver that mandate successfully.
Electricity supply in a whole suburb can be lost due to tampering with transformers and theft of transformer oil or actual parts, wires and cables, with one of the mainstays of the local economy being agriculture and farming. A consistent power supply is vital to the operations of anything more than the most basic small-scale subsistence garden, and even then, it plays a part. Water supply for both crops and livestock is often dependent on electricity.
We need these transformers now to irrigate, that actually we can supplement on what the season in summer could not do, because food security is purely based on ZESA. When we don't irrigate, then the country hasn't got no food, and that is, then it becomes actually state security, because we need food on our tables and everybody does that.
Patients on life support have died in hospitals when unscheduled power outages have caught them unexpectedly, not due to load shedding, but by a fault caused by theft or vandalism. The result of a sudden power outage during major surgery can only be imagined. Law enforcement has no choice but to be involved in the measures to control theft and vandalism of ZESA supply infrastructure equipment, components and parts. Effective law enforcement has become a priority in the struggle against darkness in urban, industrial and residential areas.
The truth is, we can't take away the human element. And in that respect, we have tried to build some synergies with the complementary arms of government. which obviously include the Zimbabwe Republic Police through minerals, flora and fauna, and other utilities as well. What we have done is we have deployed in all vulnerable areas and hotspots to try and curb this vice.
It's said that besides the stealing of copper cables, some people are now being electrocuted. Take for example what happened in Chegutu recently, where 3 guys were electrocuted while he's trying to drain oil from Zetdc transformers.
Power outages not only halt production, but endanger people going about their business after dark. In a country intent on accelerated industrialization, the law cannot tolerate sabotage of progress due to vandalism and theft of national resources.
In the past year, the organization recorded 760 cases, while in this year it has already recorded 516 cases.
The Zimbabwe Republic Police has made some arrests, of which some people are currently appearing before the courts. And some of the sentences which have been meted out by the courts, they range from 10 years and above.
Zimbabwe's infrastructure includes paved roads, railway links, an electricity grid, manufacturing industries, hospitals, schools, hotels, banks, and recreation facilities, many of which have fallen into rapid decline due to vandalism and theft. Valuing one's national heritage and legacy is the beginning of self-respect and the end of self-destruction. Doing this will speed up development and bring about improvement in individual lives, just by simple universal law.
We are a boarding school, and our focus is the education of the child, and we would want access to education facilities 24 hours. So as long as we don't have power, especially at night, we have learners who want to study at night, and those are already compromised. If we are looking here, we have about 4 boarding schools in one line, and that means 4 schools are affected. And the school, we are looking at a community of 700 people in one place.
In the current economic climate, in all sectors of the economy, the cultures of theft, vandalism, and waste should become a thing of the past, while Zimbabweans look toward a culture of maintenance, repair, and recycling, so that even as new technology is acquired, the old does not become waste junk, polluting the land and waters. Where communities are determined, the problem can be flushed out, as evidenced by stories coming from Esigodini in Matebeleland.
Okwakhathesi amagetsi kasatshontshwa ngesizathu sokuthi ababetshontsha abanye bangikhona babotshwa. Ngemva kwalokho amapholisa ayenza ipatrol lebusuku. So kwayikho kwagcina sokusenza amasela agcine esesesaba ukutshontsha amagetsi.
Kuthi ngemuva kobotshwa kwabantu laba sananzela ukuthi usela wamacable wayenzani wayehla. Kungasetshenzwa ngamandla especially kukhangelana ngokubotshwa kwabantu laba batshontsha amacable. Indaba le yokushota kwe-electricity kuyayehla.
Various ideas for solutions to this social ill are being thrown around by stakeholders, people just like you and me.
What needs to be done is to capacitate the police, where they have a lot of patrols, maybe in different places which are very key, and also try to form policemen work in the communities around in those areas where there's more of those thefts which are happening.
Zvakudaisu vanhu vari munharaunda tichibatirani tichibatsirana kuchengetedza midziyo yedu yemagetsi kuti isazosvika pakushayikwa kwemagetsi.
As a community bona ngento leyo sake sayikhuluma ukuthi madodha ngendlela amagetsi atshontshwa ngayo kungaba njani kube lama neighborhood watch labana bakhangela even ebusuku babhothabhothe bekhangele ukuthi kathi kuyini ukuthatha indawo esigabeni.
Babona lapha kade okwamapholisa bekulama suggesting box ukuthi la ungabona umuntu ongambonanga kuhle senza into engayisiyo ukwanisa ukuthi uhambe uyephosela something uzabuya bevula kwapana lawo bebona ukuthi lapana kumiso so kathesi njengoba lokana sakubona ukuthi kuyaphosa akule enye indlela elingakwenza ukuthi lawo ungabona amafoni kulezi insuku abantu abaningi balamafoni faka inamba zakho zonezo konapho ukuthi siyakwanisa ukuthi sifone ngokuphangisa.
A substantial number of recoveries in terms of the theft of copper gables and vandalism were made. And I want to warn members of the public that anyone who will be caught, anyone who will be arrested, while is found trying to either drain oil from Zetdc transformers or to steal copper cables will certainly be dealt with in terms of the laws of the country.
We have tried to do target hardening, making it difficult for vandals or thieves to access our infrastructure. But the long-term goal is to invest in technology. We need to embrace technology. For example, right now, we are investing in intruder detection systems, which we believe they will go a long way in reducing prevalence of these cases because they will be detected as and when they are about to happen.
For Zimbabwe to attain the 2030 vision of middle income status, a paradigm shift needs to take place in the way Zimbabweans view public amenities.
The successful implementation of the Transitional Stabilization Plan and ultimately Vision 2030 is premised upon a stable power supply. And this is under threat from theft and vandalism. In addition, as a utility, we are losing over $1 million a month in revenue that we are forgoing because customers are without power supply.
People need to take ownership of the nation's assets in a less selfish way and protect them rather than vandalize or steal them, for the good of the present and future generation.
Vision 2030, what will be required is to grow this economy, establish new industries, which means there will be even more power lines that is to be put up rather than just the few that we have. Now, if we have a portion of our people that are stealing the same infrastructure that's supposed to drive industry, we are not going to be able to attract the foreign direct investors, more foreign direct investment into this economy. Because if any one of the investors is affected by such impacts, they will also tell others that this is the problem that is there in Zimbabwe. So certainly the economic growth and economic prosperity will require that we establish, as I indicated, new industries, new factories, put even more power lines to drive these new industries. So it is important that we take care of our infrastructure the same way that we take care of our own homes and property.
The public is you and me, not them. Zimbabwe's assets are our assets, not their assets. So let's get together and protect them.